to the next episode of KungFood. Today we're going to cover the basic stances of Choy Lay Fut Lam Pat. We're going to start with our feet together like this, and we're going to go into our horse stance. Right? You can see my feet are together. I got some leaves there. From here, standing straight up, to find your stance, you simply count out to 5 like this. Feet, toes apart, 1. Heels apart, 2, 3, 4. There you go. From here, you want to drop down, keeping your back straight, and get as low as you can for training purposes. Later, you can go into a high horse, but for training purposes, you want to go low, like you're sitting on a chair. Keep your back straight, your head up, and your legs as parallel to the floor as possible. During all this, you want to have your hands at your waist, just beneath your floating ribs, like so. This is the horse stance, or Seping Ma. There are variations of this, left Seping Ma and right. You'll notice in both, the only thing turning is my upper body. You want to turn here at the waist, like a flywheel. We're not turning our legs or anything like that yet, not in this stance. So, once again, hit, knee, sun, say, and drop down. Left, right. One more time. Hands at the waist. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop down. Seping Ma. Alright. Alright, when you're first starting out, you want to be doing this stance as long as possible. You can go into a meditative trance. You can make it easier on yourself, put your hands out to counterbalance and go real low. But the idea is, to try 30 seconds, and then 45 seconds, then a minute and a half, 5 minutes, 20. In the old days, students would get into a position like this, and their sifu would walk away and go drink tea. And the longer you do this, the stronger you'll get. This is good conditioning, good training. So practice deep stance work often. Okay, our next stance is the bow and arrow stance. Of all the stances that we're doing today, which are primarily training stances or transitional stances, they're not fighting stances. You don't traditionally fight from Seping Ma. There are moments in fighting where you might come into Seping Ma, but it's not an on-guard stance, if you will. The bow and arrow stance is a bit more of an on-guard, actual fighting stance, but it is also transitional and good for training because the switching from left bow and arrow to right bow and arrow is related to the principle of our power generation and delivery in this style of Kung Fu. So once again, we'll start with our feet together, like this. We'll go into our horse. Okay, drop down. And for this purpose, we're going to have a bit of a higher horse stance. We're not conditioning right now. We're in a high horse. And from here, all you're going to do is when you turn to the right, this time you're going to include the legs. You're going to shift where this leg becomes straight and almost locked at the knee. This leg stays bent. Both of your feet, if you'll notice, whereas before in Seping Ma, my feet were pointed straight forward, now they're both shifting 45 degrees. My back is staying straight and I'm looking to the right. This is my bow and arrow. Right. Transitioning to left, I go back in horse, left. Right, left. I can stay focused here, pointing my eyes straight forward as I shift from right to left. And once you get this down, you start slow. Horse, left, horse, right. Once you understand that, you can start speeding it up. And it starts here. Everything in our Kung Fu starts here. Danti. This is your bow and arrow stance. Later, we'll include the arms for different techniques. But right now, just like in your horse stance, keep your hands at your ribs and practice turning. You can turn, you can look in the direction you're turning. For the beginning, look straight forward. A variation of this is you come out into your horse, and when you shift, only this foot angles at 45. This one stays straight on, just as it was in horse, with the knee above the foot, not over, directly above, straight up and down. Denjima. Horse, straight up and down, locked, bent, knee above the foot. This is our bow stance. All right, our next basic stance is sometimes referred to as the cat stance or Yuma. And so to find that stance, once again, feet together is a good place to start. Find your horse, drop into it, hands at the waist. And here, you're going to take a small half step out with your first foot. Over here, I'm going to start with my left foot. Take a small little 45-degree step, and I turn, and I like to think of it as grabbing my waist, grabbing my hip here, and I turn. And as I turn, I'm twisting into this, and I'm putting 90% of my weight on this foot, 10% on this. You'll see like a cat's paw. It is just barely touching the ground. So once again, from horse, I step, I turn this way, I grab and twist into my cat stance. Here and close. My ball of my foot is in line with my heel, straight line. 90% of my weight is on my back foot, and my front foot has hardly any weight on it at all, and I'm in a closed, guarded position. Later on, we will add hand techniques, right? For now, once again, when you're starting out, keep your hands at your waist. And then on the other side, I step out, twist, open, close, Yuma. That is our cat stance. Okay, our next stance is known as the twist horse. And to find that, it's very similar to getting into cat to begin with. We'll start by going to horse, hands at the waist, find your horse stance, right? Drop into it. Like the cat stance here, you take a little step and twist into cat. This is essentially the same idea, but you just keep twisting, like a spiral going in, like so. Step and twist all the way, like so. Do that again, that was sloppy. Step, twist, and down. And what I end up doing is now, instead of all my weight being on here, and this one being light, I keep twisting until I'm twisted like so, and the weight is on my front foot, and the back one is light. Alright? So, once again, in my horse, step, twist. The other side, step, twist. In advanced forms of this, we don't bother pulling in here and twisting. We just pick up our front foot and twist like so. You pick it up and twist. And this is good for getting around an opponent's leg, stepping up and over, like that. That would be a twist, of course. Okay, I can do different things. So one more time. Find your horse, drop in, twist. Other side, twist. That is the twist horse. Get into a twist horse and stay there. Your legs will feel it. Alright, the last of the basic stances is called Guaya and or Cripple Horse. And to find that, you simply start out the way we have been. Get into your horse stance. Come down. And all you're doing in Guaya is you can kind of shift your weight slightly forward, and one heel comes up as you come down. So you can see my right heel is up, my left foot is planted like a traditional horse, and I can turn to the right. I can be doing techniques down here as I go to left Guaya, right Guaya, left. In the beginning, just keep your hands at your waist and turn. One heel up, one heel down. Kneeling horse.
Alright, so what we're going to do here is just run through the same basic 5 stances with the camera from behind me. Just showing you the other angle to help you get the nuances of this stance down. We're going to run through every stance twice. So pay close attention to the feet and the hips, because that's where everything's at. That's what you're going to see here. You want to see that my toes are pointing forward, my legs are parallel, as much as can be, and how it works. So that was our horse. Now we're going to go into a left bow and arrow, and then we're going to shift into a right bow and arrow. Notice how the feet are aligned, both pointing off line at 45 degrees instead of straight forward at 90 like we were in Seping Ma. So when shifting, you want to start at the hip first. The waist turns, the legs follow. It's hard to see in the video, but just remember that. The waist turns, the legs follow. Here I'm doing the Denji Ma with one foot shifting, the other foot staying straight. This is the back angle of the Ryuma, cat stance. You're able to see from this angle a little better how the cat foot, the one out in front, the paw, the ball of that foot is in line with the heel of the back foot. So if you were to draw your foot straight back from that, the ball of your foot will brush the heel of the back foot. Here's our left Ryuma. Remember to go as deep as you can. I'm not as good as many out there, but this is as deep as I'm comfortable doing it. You can go deeper if you're able. If you're not able, don't. But remember to put 90% of your weight on that back leg. Here's our twist horse again. From behind. You can see here I'm doing the slightly more advanced version where I lift my leg off the ground and come into the twist horse, the stamping motion. Like I said earlier, this is an actual grappling maneuver. This is for entwining the opponent's legs. This is a good one to sit in for a while. Builds good strength in those joints and connective tissues. You're going to need it later for the kicks and the techniques. So condition first, technique later. Here's the Guaya. This is also a grappling stance, signifying the pinning of an opponent. You can be pinning his arm down after you've done a grappling technique or wrestling maneuver. This is brutal on the legs. I'm switching fast, but you can go real slow, hold one position on either side for quite a while and you'll feel the burn.
Alright, that's it for our 5 basic stances. Practice these every single day for as long as you can, and add a little bit each time. Just keep doing this, and remember, these are training stances, conditioning stances, and transitional stances. A lot of people will look at this and say you can't fight from that stance, that's for show, it has no substance. As you know, that is not the spirit of good Kung Food. These stances have substance and have value. Just remember, they're not fighting stances. If these stances appear in a fight, it's for a split second, it's just for a moment. You're moving from one thing to the next. We don't stand in cat stance and fight. We don't stand in Guaya and fight from there. It's a split second transitional moment. But for beginners like us, like me, like my viewers, we're going to condition our bodies and strengthen the muscles, the joints, the connective tissues. Everything benefits from long hours of stance work. So until next time, train hard, eat well. Got it. Damn it.